All right, so we got her turned around, backed in, wiped down. I'm going to set the camera up here and show you what I'm about to try. Something I've never done on video. A lot of the stuff we've been doing is rust work. But instead of pulling this door apart, using the pin welder and hammering and dollying and this, that, the other thing, I'm going to try, because it doesn't hurt. If it doesn't work, well, it didn't take me very long to find out it didn't work. This suction gun here, suction cup gun, got a few different size cups. I think this one's going to be the winner here. I'm going to try to pop this, and as I pull, I can tap my highs. I may even tape up my hammerhead so I don't mire it up a bunch, so I might be able to save some body work on that. So we'll see. I'm going to set up the camera and you guys can watch me either succeed or fail. One way or another, it'll get some of it out, I'm sure. It's popped down in there too, so hard to tell on the camera, I know, but it's pretty schmuckered. So let's see if I can unschmucker it. make some noise. All right, so the suction got us close. I probably could grind that out, slap some mud in there and call it good. But I'm gonna pin weld some of these spots here, get us a little bit closer, and then we'll see if we just give it a full skim of mud. But I'll show you guys the pin welding, how that goes. I think you've seen me use it before. Don't know if I've ever really shown it or if it was just on a sort of a time-lapse thing, but it's got these little pins, studs, whatever you want to call them. They slide right into the end of this gun here. And you pull the trigger for a few seconds. And there you go, it welds itself right on there. want to be careful, especially on this new thin stuff, that you don't burn right through. It doesn't take much. Yeah. There. There are a few different style pullers. The one I tend to use most frequently is this style right here. It grabs the pin right here, and then you can lever away. It's nice because you got one hand pulling a little pressure, and then you use your hammer, to tap around. Start on this little spot right here. Slides in. Latch it. Apply a little pressure. I don't know if you can hear that tin cannon in and out here. So just give that a little tap around it. What I try to do as well is if I know I have, a high spot or at least not another low spot, that's where I try to put my little pad, because then that way there I know I'm not pushing something that's already low. Man, this thing is floppy. Gotta love these new cars. You sneeze on them and you dent them, It's not like working with the old iron. You can hammer and dolly and hammer and dolly. It's more like working with tin foil. Not fun. I pulled that spot out nicely. Prime example, what I was trying to explain is it's not hitting here. This was obviously very low, and it's obviously hitting a high spot right here and right here. So that's where I put my pad, is on that little high spot. So I'm two birds with one stone, I'm kind of prying that high spot down. At the same time I'm pulling this low spot up. I think I like that. I think that's muddable. So Now what I do, just grab a pair of diagonal cutters. I just snip it right at the head. Sometimes you can twist them, grab it and twist them off, but a lot of times with something so thin like this, it'll actually break and tear the metal away and you'll have a hole that you have to weld or fill. So I'll show you, I snip them off just beyond their little button head, just like that. And I go back to the little mini grinder here. Knock them flush. Have that in about 15 minutes time. That door was paved pretty hard, and we're ready for mud. And it's not mud like 1/2 inch thick. I'm not filling all the dents. Now I'm just filling the little weeble wobbly here and there, and you know, a skim of mud. We'll get a coat on there and see what it looks like. As always, even though it's not very thick, I'm going to hit all these lower spots with my short strand fiberglass filler first. I just know it grabs really well. I like the bond it has when it's a little thicker. So I'll get that on there, get it knocked down, and then we'll skim it with Bondo as long as the shape holds true and looks pretty decent and is ready for Bondo. So I'll mix up a batch of fiberglass and you can watch me throw that on. Something like that. Like I said, you can probably tell there I didn't make very much. It's not very thick. I'm sand probably half of what I put on. Back off. Then we'll feather this all out. And like I said, give it a skim of Bondo. I think that's all it's going to take. Probably a couple of skims, but I think as far as shaping, we're there. So pretty happy that popped out pretty good, pretty fast. You saw it right here, real time. That's what it took. Took a couple minutes to mess around with the suction gun. Hindsight, I could have went right to the pin welder if I knew it was a pin weld, but that did get me really close. So few pins I had to do. Put it on a lot more pins. Had I not popped the biggest stuff out with the suction cup, so I used less pins. I used less time welding and pulling pins. So maybe the suction cup was, a good first trip. And you honestly, if you were just trying to pound this out, or if it was your own rig or whatever, you could have worked with the suction cup a little bit more, and then right to Bondo. But the least amount of Bondo I have to put in means I have to sand less and use less and whatever. So if I get it closer to begin with, all is well. But if you want to put it a little thicker, because like I said, you're just trying to pound something out or it's your own rig, hey, go for it. I'd hate to see it if you're putting a half inch of Bondo on something, but if you got to do an eighth inch, or you got a ding that's a quarter inch or something. Hey, that's what it's made for, right? It's filling dents. But there we have that. We'll let that sit up, and then we'll show you where it's at after that. Here's what we got going on the outside. I don't believe we have any rot holes. It's just scaly and pitted. So we're going to clean that up and likely give that a little skim of glass. We'll see what it looks like knocked down here in a second with the grinder. Got the flap disc. We'll see what that does to it. If we got to take a bristle or a wire wheel to get down a little cleaner, we will. But this will knock down the bulk of the scale and go from there. All right, here's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Got some errands to run. I'll let you see it through my hands. We're pretty straight, a little wobbly here, there, some little spots, but that's what the skim of Bondo is going to be for. Everything else feels pretty decent. We got that ground down like we said. Some fiberglass on there. These quarters are in primer and blocked. Those are good. So, I think that it is time for one of these and some errands. Have a good night. All right, good Tuesday morning, YouTube. Last night left off with this roughed in fiberglass. I got our first skim of Bondo on here. I can already see looking right here. I don't think my line's gonna be right unless this is high right here, but we'll get that shaped up and see what that looks like. But so yeah, there's our first coat there. Our quarters are done, and we're gonna knock this down and Bondo it. Quarters are done. So all things go well. This one will be painted this afternoon and out the door tomorrow. We got a couple more patiently waiting in line. All right, folks, here's the final product. We got a decent little blend in here. Minimal dust. We'll give it a little buff tomorrow. Wet sand and buff it tomorrow, but laid out pretty good. So I'll have to run a couple errands. We'll check in the morning and get it buffed up and reassembled and on to the next one. Have a good night.